Executive Director's Message by Donald D. Overton, Jr. I extend my warmest of greetings to our members and friends throughout the country as our national headquarters staff and National Board of Directors continue to navigate the immense challenges that the post-pandemic era now presents to the nonprofit world, especially to veteran service organizations such as BVA. One could perhaps immediately conclude that my reference to our challenges links directly to, and perhaps only to, those of a financial nature. This is not the case. While BVA's financial health and strength is an area of vital concern, it is by no means the only challenge that currently weighs upon us. Our intent and solemn desire is not to simply wade through these challenges, but to confront them head-on with practical solutions that will best serve the interests of the national organization and our entire membership. Despite our current challenges, as we approach our midwinter meetings and annual congressional testimony, I am encouraged by the progress we have made in many areas. Building upon the efforts of the past year, our national team continued the deployment of technological solutions, allowing for enhanced stakeholder engagement and improved member service delivery. Our investment in state-of-the-art technological assets enable us to further refine our operational budgets and strategically align professional staff and external contractors while fully actualizing modern efficiency standards throughout the association. I am also heartened by the approaching 78th anniversary of BVA's founding. The wonder and marvel of 78 years of service to blinded veterans and now low-vision veterans with the recent passage of the revised bylaws last summer is truly something to recognize and celebrate. Our founding members and those who joined BVA shortly after the March 28, 1945 meeting at Avon Old Farms Army Convalescent Hospital, true pioneers as I see them, had their own set of challenges. In reading our historical records, I doubt that many of us would be willing to change places with them. As an example, that first meeting occurred in something other than a modern office building of an urban city. The Avon Old Farm campus had been an all-boys residential preparatory school before its conversion for Army use. Its founder, Theodate Pope Riddle, was Connecticut's first female architect and a friend of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. For reasons personal and patriotic, Riddle closed the school and leased the property free of charge to the U.S. government. Our first national office was a desk in the corner of the Gundy Tea Room, a small eatery, in Farmington, Connecticut. Ray Fry, our first national president, wrote that as a proud new organization, BVA agreed to accept no help from any outside source. A paragraph from an article Ray wrote for our 50th anniversary special issue of the Bulletin says this: "It's difficult to comprehend how naive we were to believe that we could run the association on a $20 initiation fee plus $5 of yearly membership dues. When we discovered we couldn't run BVA on that amount, a special meeting was called in January 1946, at which 3 changes were made. We decided to abolish the $20 initiation fee and establish a $1 membership fee. Additionally, we decided to accept gifts and donations from nonprofit organizations. And lastly, we also set up a trust fund with the American Foundation for the Blind, AFB. Ray goes on to mention the key individuals and organizations that helped BVA along during those formative years. In addition to holding the trust fund, AFB paid for secretarial assistance, paid a salary for an appointed chairman and cited advisor, Vineyard Kendrick, and financed the printing of the first few issues of the Bulletin. They also provided equipment to foreign blinded veterans on behalf of BVA and allowed the BVA Board of Directors to use the Helen Keller Room for weekend meetings in New York City. 2 faithful advisors and morale boosters were Catherine K. Gruber, for whom our scholarship program is now named, and Father Thomas Carroll, who served as the national chaplain for 25 years. At the time, Kay was AFB's Director of Services for the War Blind, while Father Carroll was Director of the Catholic Guild for All the Blind in Boston. Although numbers were limited, BVA had its share of energetic young members in the late 1940s and 1950s. Most of these World War II veterans were still in their 20s or early 30s at the time. Busy with their education, professions, and young families, many of them nonetheless accepted without hesitation voluntary positions in newly formed regional groups. Our BVA forefathers somehow found the means not only to keep the organization afloat, but to successfully advocate on behalf of their fellow blinded veterans in the establishment of effective rehabilitation programs, vibrant regional groups, and national conventions that rejuvenated the membership. Along the way, other generous groups and individuals with pure motives came to the rescue, not to mention magnanimous leaders such as Russ Williams within our own ranks. Although presented to us on a much different scale and level of complexity, our challenges today are somewhat the same, and we overcome them with the help of trusted advisors, friends, and colleagues in the veteran and blind communities. We depend greatly on the generosity of convention sponsors, professionals in the academic world who willingly share their knowledge and experience, donors willing to answer our direct mail appeals with donations large and small, role models without sight who excel in a long list of adaptive sports programs and competitions, and technological geniuses willing to expend hour upon hour sharing with their fellow veterans the ways to use new technology. We are grateful for all who assist and support us in fulfilling our mission, including your magnanimous BVA leaders of today who help move us forward. While we certainly need more of you, we acknowledge you whom we do have. Thank you for the support and service you render to your fellow veterans. The tasks are rarely easy, but they are always worth the effort.